Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. This week's article is The Royal Arch of Solomon and the Perfect Elu, the Divine Spark of the Scottish Rite, by Brother Adrian Castro, 33rd degree, and comes from the November-December 2024 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. As preparation to entering the Scottish Rite, I began reading and studying for the Master Craftsman 1, first version, a few weeks prior to my Valley's reunion. There were two degrees that particularly stimulated my curiosity. One was the 13th degree, Royal Arch of Solomon, but the other one, the 14th degree, Perfect Elu, Grand Elect Perfect, and Sublime Mason, impressed me even more. My interest was not so much due to the elevated title of the degree, but rather due to its symbolism. In particular, the 14th degree jewel, with its five-pointed crown and a sun in the center, the explanation that the perfect Elu is the companion to kings, and the square stone on the apron flap that covered the entrance to a vault, all resonated deeply with me. Yet I felt there must be more, and so I reflected more deeply. If you're a Master Mason, check out the Master Craftsman Online College, the premier education platform from the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Southern Jurisdiction. From Craft Lodge to Scottish Rite philosophy, visit www.mastercraftsmancollege.org for complete info and use promo code SRJ2024, that's SRJ2024 for 20% off any course. Every Freemason's journey begins in his heart, then evolves within an entered apprentice's lodge. If we are to follow James Anderson's views in the Constitutions of the Freemasons, a Mason's journey concludes with the exaltation to the degree of Holy Royal Arch. This, of course, is one path. I took this path, and I must say I was enthralled with the mysticism of the York Rite's Royal Arch degree. Reflecting on this degree, I then asked what one does once one enters the vault, passing through the veils. There are both differences and similarities between the York Rite's Royal Arch degree and the Scottish Rite's Royal Arch of Solomon, 13th degree, but that subject is beyond the scope of this article. The Royal Arch of Solomon, also named Royal Arch of Enoch in other jurisdictions, is a profound degree that manages to embody certain important mythic characteristics of the mystic quest. As we shall see, it also complements, almost necessitates, the perfect Elu, 14th degree. In A Bridge to Light, Rex Hutchins illustrates a crucial paradox of the 13th and 14th degrees, noting the 14th degree and the 13th are very closely related. The legend associated with the cubical stone bearing the ineffable name of deity discovered and taken to King Solomon in the 13th degree is continued here. Solomon decides to place the cubical stone in a special underground vault used by himself, King Hiram of Tyre, and the Master Hiram for private conferences. The contrast between the crypt of Enoch and that of Solomon form an important part of the allegory of this and the 13th degree. In the 13th degree, the crypt is built below the earth, which necessitates a vertical descent and so directs our attention to the inward qualities of a Mason. In the 14th degree, Solomon places the treasure deep in the recesses of his crypt, between his private conference room and the Sanctum Sanctorum. Describing the form of the lodge of the 14th degree, the Franken manuscript says, "To go through the sacred vault, you must go through a narrow passage lighted with a lamp and oil. On the entrance must be a brother with a sword in hand, another brother in the middle, and a third at the door of the entrance to the sacred vault." This description implies a horizontal direction, as there is no mention of stairs, a ladder, or anything that would facilitate vertical descent. It also seems unlikely that a narrow passage lighted with a lamp and oil, three different doors, placed between Solomon's apartment and the Sanctum Sanctorum, entails a vertical descent. Furthermore, due to his spiritual attainments, Enoch is depicted as a mystical figure, whereas Solomon, being a temporal king, is a worldly figure. We can resolve this puzzle by seeing that the things described within the 2 degrees are actually more complementary in nature. One is mystical, the other temporal, paralleling the way that the path in one is vertical and the path in the other horizontal. Continuing this thought, we see that in the 13th degree, the Mason uncovers the divine virtue within himself. The 14th degree connects this to the temporal world. As such, it is the only degree within the Scottish Rite that has a gold ring as part of the degree. With the dictum Virtus Junxit mors non separabit, it references the alliance with virtue and the virtuous contacted by the candidate. In the accompanying ritual, the Mason is charged with acting virtuously in the world, armed with the knowledge of deity. The Mason must not lose sight of this treasure nor be distracted by the comings and goings and temptations of the mundane world. The pitfall of doing so is mentioned in the lecture of the degree, in the depiction of Solomon worshipping Moloch, which led to the destruction of the temple and the eventual captivity of his people. Through finding the most sacred treasures deep within the crypt of himself, through zeal, strength, and courage, and through traversing darkness in search of light, one comes to true knowledge and the essence of things. One discovers the sacred within the self, thus awakening to the divine spark, to the cause for transcendence, and to virtuous conduct in the mundane world. Some may even say one has discovered the knowledge that enables him to be a master of himself. Yet more importantly, one has completed a moral and ethical journey that will render him an example for others to come, to be that perfect cube upon which he then can continue to build his temple while encouraging other builders to do the same. Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd Degree Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.